Wonderful Wednesday evening. Yes, a little later than after work, afternoon, but still, we're here. And we're at the epilogue and the last part of this book. Register and vote. Protect her future. Yeah, that's so funny. One of my coworkers, well, she just told me how she is, or is she retired? Well, anyway, she is going to be an election judge for the upcoming election. Isn't it wonderful how far we have progressed? Well, anyway, Black is beautiful, but you look prettier when you are registered. Yes. The voting advertisement was issued by the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, in the early to mid 1960s. It's so funny how, I was like, no, a crazy comment how Trump was saying, I can relate to Black people, with my mug shot. And it was like an insult, like, oh, you can relate to us because of the criminal aspect that, has been traced in your life, these poor choices. No, that's not how you can relate to Black people. As far as a sense of excellence, a sense of dignity and perseverance and fortitude. Speak on those traits, not because of the plight and the negativity. No, don't connect your crime with us. No. So I know this election is going to be wild, but hold on. Let's see, epilogue. It is all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice, and we shall overcome. President Lyndon B. Johnson, talk about presidents. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was an effort to eliminate racial discrimination in America's political elections. The law was passed to stop such criminal acts as racial gerrymandering, poll taxes, and economic reprisals like those experienced by Black voters in Fayette County. The power and potency of the Voting Rights Act was its pre-clearance requirements. Cities and states could not add or change voting laws without supervision and permission from the U.S. Department of Justice. The Voting Rights Act was weakened in 2013 by the Shelby County versus Holder decision, when a majority of 5 Supreme Court justices voted against a long-standing pre-clearance rule. With the removal of federal supervision, American voters and political elections are vulnerable to abuse and lawlessness. Injustice remains as persistent a foe as it was in 1959. A great number of Americans struggle still to achieve equitable voting rights and fair political elections. More than 50 years after Black voters in Fayette County were evicted and reduced to living in muddy tents, voter suppression and intimidation continues in every corner of the nation. Who will be like the daring men, women, and children from the fertile plains of Fayette County? They championed equality and justice for all. Despite his young age, James Jr. served the freedom struggle with conquering faith and courage. He accepted the change to rise and change history for good. Today it is your turn. Now is your time. Yes, all of us have to play our role. All of us have to be diligent out here. Let's not throw away our vote, but let's be mindful because so many suffered. Look at this picture. In 1960, Ernest Withers took this photograph of Fayette County residents as they stood in line to apply for voter registration cards. Oh, it's remind me pictures from my grandmother's time, yeah, and my mom's. Fayette County timeline. You can pause and read it. Oh, my. So much has happened. And another page. I hope you can read these. Lighting might be poor. Okay. And then here, Reese Hunter Malone receives her voter registration card in Fayette County, 1960. And here's another in Tent City in December 1960. Remember how people were evicted from the land as sharecroppers and they had to share and look out for one another? That's our heritage. That's our legacy. More dates. And then here. Like I said, if you want to pause and read and expand it. All right. And, oh my goodness. Resource guide, places to visit, the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, National Civil Rights Museum. I remember going to the Civil Rights or African American Museum in Greensboro, North Carolina, with the Woolworth sit-ins. I remember taking my son there, I think in 4th grade. Just had some great memories. Here are some people, the characters we saw, real life heroes. James Jr. Jamerson in the fall of 1966 and in the fall of 2018. He looked the same person. And Mary Williams was the first mother to move into Tent City with her children and husband, Early B. Williams. And Laverne Towles was a displaced sharecropper in 1960 and the son of Shepherd Towles. All right. Then we have the bibliography. Well, this was a rich book. And author's note, I was born and raised in Tennessee. I am also the beneficiary of public school education with degrees from University of Memphis and University of Tennessee of Knoxville. I wrote Evicted to give students in Tennessee and across the nation an understanding of this valiant American history that must not be forgotten. May you remember with urgency to never repeat past misdeeds. You better go on, Miss Alice Faye Duncan, the author. You did a great job. And Charlie Palmer is the illustrator right here. It was an honor to illustrate Evicted about the brave citizens of Fayette County, Tennessee. I found it painful to read the stories of Tent City and even harder to paint. I can't imagine what it was like for them to live in those hard times. I dedicate this book to all the people who lived through what was an extremely difficult period in American history. I know you. I love you. Well, this was a wonderful series. I feel encouraged, and this is wonderful. And again, here is more detail about the author and the illustrator. All right, so let's carry on. Let's radiate joy no matter what color, and let's be active. Have a good evening.